All right, so I'm not just going to build this for you and just send you a link. I want to give you the whole thought process and the whole step-by-step approach that I take whenever I see a good opportunity for a good, in order to productize something that should be done on repeat. This was the inspiration post for this one in particular. So a few days ago, Ruben posted this post on how he is writing recap emails after a boring meeting, basically, and how that is done by a series of skills that builds inside Claude and a blueprint of how he does all of this, right? Where I personally commented, this should just be a Lovable app, right? And then a couple of you reached out and said, hey, I want you to build this for me, or I want you to teach me how I can build this in Lovable. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. The first step, however, is I just want to save as much time as humanly possible. So I'm not even going to read the whole post. I'm going to read the image. I'm just going to go to Claude, personally myself over here, and I'm going to paste the image that he posted as well as the whole post that he did. And all I'm going to do here is basically use Whisperflow or any other dictation tool, right? So I went to Claude using a dictation tool to dictate into it in order to help me craft a prompt that I will be able to use to initiate a Lovable project. I'm personally using Lovable in that instance via MCP. If you've never heard of an MCP as a term or never used it, it's quite simple to set it up. All you would have to do is say to Claude or whatever, I want you to set me up Lovable MCP, right? Just give it this link. It will read the page, and I will leave this link in the comments, so don't worry. It will set up the Lovable MCP server. If it's in Claude or ChatGPT or wherever, you would just connect it, authenticate, give permission, and it would be able to read your Lovable workspace and access your Lovable workspace, initiate a project building process, right? So let's start over here then, shall we? Dictate again into the tool really quickly to say what we want to do. Read this post and read the image that was posted by this creator and help me create a Lovable application, which will rely on Google and specifically Gmail connector and a Granola connector as well to facilitate this on autopilot. I just want this to happen without me interfering or doing anything on my side. If you have any questions, please ask away. Right? And always ask AI wherever you work, whatever you're working with, in any surface area you're working in, whether that's Claude, Lovable, or wherever else, to ask you clarifying questions if it has any, because you really want to make sure that you're contextually aligned with the agent that is going to be responsible for either building the app, or in this case, Claude will be responsible for orchestrating it. So let's just have that land real quick. And as you can see here, it's already reading all the documentation that it needs. And by the way, I mentioned the word connectors, and that is another thing that I want you to start learning about, right? So whether that's standard connectors or in general, all the Lovable integrations, the list keeps going on and on and on. But in this case, we are covering Granola, and as you can see right here, and we are covering the entire Google workspace. And those are the only two that you will very likely need, right? So it says, do you have a Granola business plan? You probably need to have a paid plan, obviously, because the free one has no API access. I will just say, yes, I have a business plan. How far should a pilot go? I want it to be fully automated with a 10-minute undo window, which is awesome. What is this for? Personal tool that is just for me, right? So I'm trying to build personal tool versus a tool that would be used by everyone else. And there's a difference here, right? When you're building tools that others will be able to access, the infrastructure choices that you would be making would be a little bit different than when you something that's personal. When something's personal, you can use and chat connectors without any of having any information exposure, versus when you're like doing publicly available application. At that point, you would need to set them up a little bit different so that people can authenticate using their own tokens and using APIs instead of using connectors. For now, don't even stress about it. All that I'm doing here and all that you need to remember from this tutorial so far is I took this image, and then I took the post, then I added prompt, said read this, and from here, option A is build me the documentation and build me the prompt that I can send to Lovable, or B, connect with Lovable, and then as you can see, get prompted to have Claude use Lovable MCP to start building the project on your behalf. And it's approach B, like I do, it will find your workspace, it will give the project a name, it will send the prompt away, right? And basically from there, you can just keep on asking Claude to continue prompting away. Obviously, you will need to go back into Lovable to approve all the connectors, which was something that we're going to do next. And then once you do that, you're basically done. You just let Lovable continue building this tool out for you. Something like this, quite honestly, with the right permissioning and the right connections, could be done within an hour of time. You can be very opinionated on the design aspects of it, right? And if you know exactly how you want things to look like, as you can see, this is what the default values of it are. If you want to change them, as you'll see in a minute, Claude will give me a link to this project, so I will be able to go into Lovable and make future edits myself from that surface, from Claude itself. Okay, and as you can see, it says the phase 0 has shipped. And again, preview editor. Let me click on the editor link. right? That should open up the app itself. Meeting follow-up views, not a perfect name, but okay, this actually looks decent if I'm honest, so I'm not going to change the design. If you wanted to change the design at this stage, this is my framework. Again, I'm just giving you advice across the board, so it's not just for this app. Think of it as a blueprint of how to build in general. If I didn't like this, there's a couple of websites that I would look to at first. So Awards is one of them, right? Awards with 3 W's, just award-winning websites, period. So they don't even have to be in the same category as what I'm building. All I need to say, okay, I like the Doodle style, I like these, let's make my app look a little bit more doodly, right? Whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be a Granola Gmail connector app. You just need to give the style, the color scheme or whatever to Lovable, and it will apply it against your idea. Another one, again, is called Dribbble, right? With, again, 3 B's in the middle. Great place to find designs. In here, you could be a bit more opinionated and say, let's say notes. This would be like notes app or stuff like I just want to see note takers, notes apps, stuff like that. And then if I like something, again, I can say, okay, this is pretty much along the lines what I like and how I think my app would look. I could go copy this image and attach it as a screenshot. If there are more, you can go and scroll more to find more examples that are similar or from this same creator, doesn't matter. If I was going to go and let's say I like this, right? So this looks pretty cool, right? Again, copy the image or take a separate screenshot of just like, hey, I just really like this style, right? And you can even attach a couple of more elements from here. You know, these are specifically videos. I'm not sure how those would go and how good would that be, but like, again, you can take screenshots and just send those over. Dump it into Lovable as a piece of context as well. And that's actually how you can start a new project. So while this one is being built, you can start a new one fresh in here. And instead of just like having the MCP running for you, you can, never mind about this. Instead of continuing the build, can you build me like a set of PRDs and maybe a one centralized prompt that I could use in order to initiate a new build inside Lovable myself without using the MCP? And let's make the design look similar to this. And then let's really do what I just said. Like, I'll take this one, right? So I'm gonna go back to Claude. I want these colors, these design tokens, and this styling. It's kind of a Bauhaus retro type of a thing. I'm not even sure which style is it. Scan the image and just proceed to define the design tokens for me. And again, you don't have to know how to prompt. You can just be like, I want something like this. And again, AI is going to figure it out for you. You could also discard all of this and just go to Lovable and dictate inside here, just brain dump, right? Let's do that instead. So again, as you can see, it will say I was going to talk about, I just discarded it. Take this here, right? Copy it over. Take this image again. I could have just done all of this in Lovable. I just want to give you everything, right? I just really don't want to limit you, right? Upgrade level application. Okay, awesome. And then switch over to plan mode. And then I can even come in and say, again, copy this image and attach inside Lovable and say, image number 1 just simply illustrate what this app is about. So that's not the design. Image number 2 is your design reference so that you can develop design guidelines according to that. And then, you know, I can just see if there were any design guidelines. No, there weren't. Awesome. I'm in plan mode. You can go in plan mode or build mode, right? And then plan mode, which again, you can switch from plan to build and vice versa. And that's about it. Like, I can send this over and start a project this way as well, right? So there are no rules here. The rule is to have fun, work on discovery, never ever satisfy yourself with the first result that you get and be like, oh, well, that's this. I guess this is my build. No, it's not. You can kill it at this point. You can switch the design. You can shift the direction as many times as you want, right? So let's go back here and let's say, okay, let's see, it's actually building the prompts for that bigger build. So while Lovable is doing that for my third option for the design, I can just come in here and say, okay, based on what you know about this app, what would be the next step? I would like to pull in the necessary connectors and just be done with that. Right? So like the first thing you want to do, that's what we would call a human in the loop sort of decisioning layer, which is adding MCPs, adding APIs, adding external superpowers, as I like to call them, because they require you to have a key or they require your permission and approval. You cannot use an external tool to do that, nor that's a feature, not a bug. You have to be in Lovable in order to do this. Step number 1, this is how approving a connector would look like, right? All you have to do is, if you're an admin of your workspace, and I am, this is my own workspace, and if you have the ability to use a connector, which you should be if you're using your personal Granola, you just click on the connect button, and then in here, you will be prompted to Lazar's Granola, And then from there, as the system advised, I need to get the value of my API key. It's so easy. Like you can just click here to understand where to get it from. You go to settings, connections, API keys to create a new one. So let's open my Granola, right? And then I will go in here. I will click and then settings, right? As it said, and then connectors. And then let me expand this so that you can actually see it, right? Personal API keys, awesome. I can just create a new key and I just want my personal notes. Right, I'm going to generate it. Don't worry, you can pause it, watch it. I'll kill this one right after. By the time you see this video, it's going to be dead. So I can then go in here and go back into the project. I got plenty, and just add it in here. And I can either invite the whole workspace or just have it just for it. Okay, I kind of made a mistake here. In the setting, I'm going to have to invite the whole workspace because I use the MCP. So that's kind of the trick here. So add your whole workspace, I guess. And then I'm just going to link to the project. So it's as simple as that, really. You just saw it yourself. Couple of clicks, went to Granola, took the API key, right? And then just came in here and got it connected. Gmail is the next one. So I can show you something really important in here. These are the scopes, right? So reading, sending emails, all that. Like your project should suggest these, but if there are any scopes missing, you should search for them. If you are not familiar with how this works, you can open the docs and understand how the scoping works and everything else, really. So I'm going to say Lazar's Gmail, right? And then I'm going to invite the entire workspace too. And then I'm just going to click connect. And again, you probably won't see this. When you do get prompted to provide access, this is what you will see. I would just select it all. You just want Lovable to have full scopes here. And then just continue. And that's it. I just connected my Gmail as well. So zero coding work, no API keys here to manage it whatsoever. You just get a list of your emails. You choose which email you want to connect. You authenticate it and connect it. And in here, it even mentions Telegram. Well, this is interesting. I did not know that Telegram was in scope. So let's see why. Oh, okay. Is this okay? Granola, SMTP, Telegram notifications. Huh. So it's going to be chosen as the notifications layer. Okay, let's do that. Doesn't matter really. Let's go and connect it as well. Again, Zars. Telegram, right? You open, you find, you build your bot token, right? Again, it's gonna help you do this if you haven't done it. So I'm gonna open my Telegram app, and I'm gonna do that as well. I'm gonna see in here on my other monitor. Okay, there it is, and Telegram bot, right? Again, if you've never done this, you can just ask it to do this. I can regenerate these, so it doesn't matter. I can do that as many as I'd like. And again, I will invite the entire workspace in this case because I'm using the MCP. So that's it, hopefully, with all the connectors, right? And again, no matter how many times you do this, and no matter how many times you need to do this, as you've seen just now, you don't write any code. Okay, awesome. This is it. These are connected. Say the word and I'll just start it. Okay, so I'm not gonna. In this one, we're using MCP exclusive. Okay, so I'll go back here, right? In the meantime, Lovable finished building the docs for the other project. I'm just gonna download them all, right? Just place them in my downloads, right? And then close this out and say, okay, now that you built these docs and that you have MCP connection, you have the context that you need in order to work on this project. Is that correct? Answer me affirmatively or ask me any clarifying questions. If you have none and you just have a full understanding about this app, scan the app that you just built using the MCP to confirm that you can see that all the connectors have been approved, and now just keep shipping one thing at a time. Just keep knocking this out, right? Again, I've done all the connections. I've downloaded the PRDs, so now I can actually go. And this is the build that we started from scratch. Let's go in here. In here, let's go in here, and I'm gonna attach all those files from my downloads, right? And I could go and just tell Lovable to read everything it needs to read about this app and just build it out. Let me see what we had. Okay, master prompt, awesome, right? I'm just gonna copy this out. Now, bear in mind, there's probably some nuances with this one because Claude knows all about me, knows how I'm building. So as you can see, its base prompt is very detailed. If you want, I'm happy to give you this as an example as well. I can include it. I'll include that, right, as a part of deliverable, so you can teach Claude how to build all of your future prompts, such as this one. And I'm just going to go and build this, right? So again, this is really genuinely, I'm showing you literally how I build in Lovable, right? I will use the MCP, or I will use Claude or ChatGPT or your preferred chatbot to build me files and whatever. I will go and look for best looking websites in the world as a reference, right? I'm just trying to give context as much as possible, or I will just let Lovable build the way it should be building. And then I will also resort to brain dumping and just using the plan mode and just really figure out how to build this if you're doing it for the first time, right? Okay, we're gonna use both. How should your writing voice be built and maintained? Automatically from the last 30 sent emails. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Who should the draft be addressed to? Granola meeting attendees. Yeah, attendees minus me. Who will use this app? Just me. Awesome, right? Review all the answers and submit it, right? So a lot of times Lovable will just ask me questions. I will answer them. I will see the thinking process behind it, and then Lovable will start generating a plan. If you've never generated a Lovable plan, it's an exquisite, excellent user experience, right? You just, again, dump context into it and crafts a beautifully laid out plan for you. Which, again, another great thing about Lovable is you can refresh while it's working. It's never going to stop. See, okay, Granola meeting ends. Poll finds a new note. Awesome. All right, screens, setup, dashboard settings. Cool. Backend behavior. If you don't know what these mean, you can copy these over and take them to your chatbot and be like, hey, do you think that this is actually right or whatever? If I wanted to change anything in here, I can just select it and then exclude it or paste it or press enter and type, delete, whatever, right? You can do whatever you want. That's the coolest part about the plan. Most times though, I just save and approve and I just shoot it out and I let Lovable to build, right? So let's go back and see where we're at. So now we have these three, right? This is the one that we attached with the file. See how close it looks to that app that I've given it as a reference? I mean, pretty close, right? So if you wanted to be very opinionated about the design style, this is how you get it. You get a reference, right? And then in here, Claude's enable, and you can basically say that you wanted to commit certain docs. By the way, these are called prompt pills, and you can just send them away and even queue things like this, right? You can just continue and say, based on the documents that I've attached, let's just proceed to build this app, create a plan and execute on it, right? So this is also pretty much how I prompt when I have the docs. I don't want to interfere into the building process. I just offload the whole building off to Lovable. Again, let's go back here, meeting recap AI. Okay, cool. It will again ask me for connectors. See, when you have connectors, you can just choose them and link them to a project. So you don't have to go through authorization. Or again, I've authorized them once. So now I'm just going to confirm them. Granola, bam, let's go. It's already there. It's probably going to go with Telegram next. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Let's see what else it's going to come up with. If not, it's just going to skip it. And then let's go back here. This is the original project. Okay. Working from the vision, phase 1, phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6. Okay. Just approve the plan and go. Right. So this is the way I would just build this app from start to finish. And then you just test, you see what the gap is really. And then you just continue off, right? This is the MCP version of it, right? Which is being sent by Claude. So if I go down here, I can see which messages is it crafting, and I can just continue building off of this surface. If this is where you feel more comfortable, if this is where you build most of your stuff, if this is where your memories are stored, where you would go to maintain and keep your styling, I would just go in here and ask things away. So I'm just going to finish this build up, and then I'm going to share a template with all of you that is going to be coded all the way until the connectors are supposed to be added, right? Because that's the important bit. When you want to take over something that I've built, at that point in time, I'd have to disconnect my Granola and Gmail and everything else, and then have you come in and say, hey, I want to wire up mine. And then you wire up yours and then have it work for you. So this is where the demo of video itself ends. And in the link in the description or wherever else I can leave this, maybe it's going to be in the comments on social media, I don't know, depending on where I post this, you will have the links to the prompts, you will have the links to the remixable template and any other resource that I feel is necessary to have. Please let me know if anything was left unclear. I'd love to continue teaching you how to build cool stuff like this.